All right, so I'm going to talk about the past first. That's important just so that, we can establish a baseline. If the past situation resonates with you, then I feel that, I feel confident the rest of the reading would be applicable to you. If not, then, the rest of it might not resonate, okay? So let's just establish that baseline here. It makes it easier if people should continue watching or not. So in the past position, we do have the Four of Swords as well as the Eight of Wands. Um, I do feel a lot of you are still hung up on a relationship partner, and I do sense like an ex-relationship partner or a current relationship partner that you have trouble communicating with. If there has been like blockages in communication, I feel like you're trying to, figure out why, what went wrong, and I feel like this energy about ruminating, replaying the past, like replaying a specific incident, a specific interaction over and over and over and over again in your head. So let's talk about this. The Eight of Wands indicates a lot of communication coming through from a distance, okay? This is a card about like, getting on social media or even getting on, I see a lot of text messages between you and another person. It came like in a burst of fervor, and then all of a sudden it stops. So I feel like you might be dealing with an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. You might be dealing with a fire sign as well, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, but I feel like there is communication. For a minute there, it seemed like there was quick, rapid, spitfire type of communication coming through. It's all very, very positive, very flirtatious. It had a lot of promising potential. And then all of a sudden, something went wrong and there was just like a total freeze. And I feel like you're not really sure what exactly went wrong. And a big part of you, like Leo is ruled by the sun. So it deals with like our ego, our drive, and our sense of adequacy, our sense of like confidence in ourselves. So because the situation ended so abruptly, a lot of you, try to put on a brave face and you're just like, oh, who needs that anyways? I'm just going to move on. And a lot of you never got that closure that you needed, okay? And I feel like whoever it is that you're dealing with, they were going through some inner turmoil, some external changes, like major transitional shifts in their lives at the same time that they were interacting with you. So I do feel like there were a lot of things that were unanswered, and it was never like wrapped up, so you didn't have the closure that you need as to what exactly happened. So I feel that that type of communication, it was very fruitful. It had a lot of potential, and then all of a sudden something went wrong, and two people just stopped communicating. Which brings us to the present moment, what you're really thinking about right now, the situation, the person, or the circumstance that you're dealing with. A lot of you are communicating with an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. This is somebody who is very financially stable. They are very caring, very nurturing. And I do sense like, they don't take a lot of risks, but they are somebody who's really, who's very like loving, affectionate, sensual. And I feel like they give very, very good, solid advice as well. This is a really stable, reliable person. This is somebody that is coming through in your life, and I feel like you're thinking heavily about this person. What is also coming through is the hangman, and the hangman indicates a situation where we are very stuck and we can't really extract ourselves. We're also waiting on this person's decision. The hangman is kind of like a situation where you have to make a sacrifice, sacrificing one relationship for the other, sacrificing one partner in order to be with another. So a lot of you might be socially dating, honestly, and I feel like a lot of singles energy coming through with the spread, where you are narrowing down your options mainly because one person wants to build a future with you, and so you're gonna have to like reject, or you're gonna have to like cease communication with some people in order to pursue this person, or in order to be with this person, or to like be exclusive to this person. And so in your present situation, you are dealing with here the Five of Cups, and the Five of Cups is regret, sorrow, loss of options, having to like have a few people leave our lives, but on the other hand, there's a new relationship that is trying to form, okay? So 3 cups are kind of like spilled over, 2 cups still remain, which reminds me of that 2 of Cups energy, where you have like, if you have had many, many options coming through, I feel like one person really wants to be with you and they're kind of like putting their foot down, giving you kind of like the ultimatum, yes or no, and if you're with me, you need to stop talking to other people. So I feel like you are going to have to stop communication with like, all the other options that are not panning out too well in order to be with one person. And I don't feel like you're doing it too happily with this card. However, it's linked up with the Justice card, and the Justice card basically means there's a great deal of reciprocity between you and another person. And I do feel like if they put their foot down and they tell you, you need to, let's be exclusive, so let's not talk to other people anymore, I feel like they're gonna hold up their end of the bargain. With the Justice card, it's kind of like, are you going to hold up your end of the bargain as well? And I feel like if you are the one putting your foot down and giving the ultimatum to the other person, you're holding up your end of the bargain. It's really important to know if, your partner or the person that you intended the ultimatum for, are they going to hold up their end of the bargain? So this is some type of a karmic balancing act, like rebalancing of the karmic scale. 2 people need to be on board, otherwise the relationship is going to go awry. And I feel like you're starting something new. You just met somebody else, like you just met a new person, and you're trying to make things work, and you're trying to like gauge where the other person is coming from. So I do sense, a lot of temperature taking. So it's sort of like, you show me yours, I'll show you mine. So there's a lot of like, you're asking for a lot of return on your investment. You're asking for a lot of validation. You're asking for a lot of reassurance. And I feel like if you're dealing with an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, you're going to get that type of validation for you. On the other hand, I feel like for a lot of you, you might already come into this month in a relationship with a water sign, okay? So the water sign is Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. I feel many of you are already coming into this month. The foundation is something that we know to be true. So if it shows up here as a water sign, I do feel a lot of you are coming into this month already in a relationship with a water sign. The water sign is somebody that is very young, quite flirtatious, but harmless, young, charismatic. They're saying young, charismatic, flirtatious. And I also feel like somebody who's very like, who's very easily excited. It's a very sweet, loving, kind person. They want to build a future with you. The Ace of Pentacles is always something like that is really good for you. It requires a lot of work though in order to make it happen. And I feel like a lot of you, you're dealing with a water sign. Water is the opposite element from you. So there's a lot of, attraction, a lot of chemistry. But I feel that you might not be the most compatible, match for one another. However, their energy is also like they're kind of like exciting. They're looking for a lot of intensity and a lot of reassurance from their partner. And I feel like this is somebody that you're doing a lot of temperature taking with. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. And I feel like they need a lot of validation from you. They expect a lot from you. They want to build a relationship with you. And the relationship takes 2. So I feel that you are going to need to put in the same amount of work in order to build this relationship. So if you're in a relationship with a water sign, I feel like they want you to step up. They want you to put in more investment in them. And they want you to like, they don't want to be the only one that's putting all the work. And they don't want to like end up empty-handed. So they are very skittish when it comes to commitment because they need you to, meet them halfway. So there's an element here of wanting to meet each other halfway, like temperature taking, expecting the same the same returns on your investment, expecting the other person to invest the same amount. So I feel like you are entering relationships with a kind of like a no nonsense approach, which I feel is really good for you. So I feel that you're doing things the right way, but you are also encountering people who are just as skittish. So they're not likely to invest unless they see what you have to offer. Okay. I do feel overall, for those of you who are dating, if you are encountering an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, I feel that it can be a very, very good match for you. If you're dealing with a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, I feel like they do want to build a future with you, but their energy seems to me a little bit more immature than the earth sign. Which brings us to the future. We do have the moon, the Eight of Pentacles, and I pulled out some more cards just to see what direction we're headed in. And the moon basically is a very, very good card about, you know, when it's like appearing next to a very positive card, it can be very positive. So I do feel in this spread specifically, it is a very, very good placement for a really, really great union between two people. So I feel like it's whoever you're involved with, there is a lot of healing coming through from this union. I feel like you are encountering somebody who's very much like you, like you're mirroring each other. There's a mirroring energy. You might be like completely opposite signs, opposite elements even, or even different signs, different elements. But I do sense like both parties are very, very careful, are quite like practical, calculating when it comes to how much they're willing to invest in a relationship. I do see a lot of romance coming through for this month. I do see a lot of nighttime activities, which is always nice in a relationship. I do see like a lot of you, you live in two separate cities, I feel, two separate households, two separate dwelling, and you're commuting back and forth really late at night in order to be with one another. So I feel a lot of nighttime activities, and I feel like that looks really good. And I do feel like you're meeting somebody, no matter what element they are, they mirror you. So you might have like a similar upbringing, you might have similar life experiences. You might have found somebody that you're really happy being with. And then some of you, let me see here, I feel like a lot of people are going through a separation. So, you know, you're trying to move on, right? And I feel like you're not completely severed yet from your significant other. And you might still be sharing space with the person that you're trying to leave behind. And I feel like there's some nighttime activities that is like under the cover of darkness. So I feel like you might be separated. You're not completely severed. So you're out there dating, wanting to meet the one. So I feel like you're not fully disclosing your relationship status. Okay. So just be careful about, you know, new relationships starting off with a lot of concealed information or starting off with on a lie. So that's not a stable foundation to begin with. Okay. I do feel as well, a lot of you are trying to get your financial situation in order. A lot of you are feeling very financially stable right now. So I do see like, you know, a lot of trips, a lot of hotels and trips added together, taken with your significant other, with the people that you're dating or somebody that you're interested in. I do feel as well, there's an element of clandestine type of meeting each other very late at night, meeting each other and not letting anybody else know about it. So like going to hotels and things like that, that's coming in for some of you as well. What is also linked up with this, we do have the Queen of Swords as well as the Sun. If for those of you who are facing some type of separation, I do feel for this month you're going to be free from it. So, you know, the Queen of Swords, I usually think of this as like a divorced woman. A woman that is kind of like that has been through a lot and she is trying to move on with her life. And there's a lot of success associated with that as well. Like a lot of happiness, a lot of joy and contentment once you are severed from, you know, whoever it is that you have been separated from. So I feel like you're separated, you're not fully divorced. And this is the month in which you're branching out and you are dating new people and you're meeting a lot of exciting new people in particular. We have earth signs, water signs, air signs. So we have pretty much across the board, like all the signs. I feel you're just meeting new people in general. They make you feel quite good, and I feel like you finally have the confirmation you need that you're on the right track, and that extracting yourself from the previous relationship was the right thing to do. And then for others of you who are in stable relationship, if you're in a stable relationship, they're saying that you have to continue to maintain your relationship. I do see like some of you might be working the night shift, okay? And you might not, and like you work at night, your partner works during the daytime. And so you need to find time to like, maintain, sustain the romance in the relationship. Otherwise, it's going to, not going to work. So I do feel romantic gestures are kind of like being put on the back burner because work responsibilities, work life imbalances, professional and personal life imbalances are a little bit malaligned. And so you need to find ways to straighten this out in your existing relationships. I also feel for some of you, give me 1 second. For some of you, you're building a future with another person. So you come into the relationship already attached, like you come into the month already attached with with somebody, like possibly a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, and you're trying to build a future together. You're trying to like, I feel like a lot of you want to take the relationship to the next level. A lot of you like want to give your partner like a good life. Like you work really hard in order to provide for your partner, in order to like buy them nice things, in order to take them out to nice places. So I feel that coming through, and you're working really hard, but you might also be neglecting the emotional aspect of the relationship as well. So just keep that in check, okay? So overall, it looks to be a very, very good spread. One last thing, if you have been dealing with somebody from the past, communication was going really well, and all of a sudden they disappeared. I do feel them coming back in, especially if they are an air sign or a fire sign. I'm hearing like the relationship started off really, really well. All of a sudden, like something unexplainable happened and then it just stopped. I feel like they're coming back in, and there's going to be a resolution, a reconciliation, a coming back together, or at least, some type of explanation to allow you to understand what exactly happened. And then you can choose to get back together. You can even choose to like reconnect